Sometimes we have short memories in our country. Sometimes people whose grandparents or great-grandparents were immigrants to this country, sometimes they forget. Sometimes they forget that we all came here to make a better life, and we all have contributed to making this the greatest country in the world. In Unite Here, we know that our union was built by immigrants and African Americans and immigrant families, even if the people themselves weren't immigrants. We know who built our union, we know who built our industry, we know who built our country, and so we have always been very, very strongly supportive of comprehensive immigration reform in the United States. I'm glad that the Obama administration, in the wake of the terrible earthquake in Haiti, I'm glad they opened up temporary protected status, TPS. They charged too much money for it. They shouldn't charge $450 for TPS. So I'm glad they opened it up, but that's not what we should be doing. What we should be doing is saying, number one, if you live in America and you work hard and you pay taxes and you show up for work every day, you ought to be able to be a citizen. And we ought to be saying, TPS is good, but we ought to be saying that if you're here in this country and you're doing what you're supposed to do and you have wives or husbands or parents or children or other family members in your home country and you want to bring them here to unite your family, we ought to be saying, bring them here. That's a good thing for America. I'm very proud that Unite Here is in the leadership of the unions in America on this issue. And we're not going to rest until President Obama does what he said he would do during the campaign, and I believe that he wants to do it. We have to help President Obama make the Congress of the United States change our immigration laws so that people can come out of the shadows, people can have full rights, and so that all present-day immigrants, just like the immigrants in the whole history of this country, can help build their country, help build the hospitality industry, and help their families succeed. Let's talk for a minute about remittances, sending money back home. It takes enormous courage for anyone to leave their home country to go to another place. It takes great courage. People do it for many reasons. African Americans were brought to this country in the holds of slave ships involuntarily. Some people have been driven out of their home countries by religious or political persecution or by famine or disease. Some people have come to this country simply because they wanted to search for a better life. But when people leave their home country, and all of you who are immigrants know this, they don't leave their home country behind. There is an unbreakable connection between the United States and Haiti and Mexico and all of the countries from which the American people come, an unbreakable connection. So, in our union over the past 10 years, we have had to deal with some horrific tragedies. 9/11. 9/11, we lost 43 members of our union who were at work in a restaurant on the top floor of the World Trade Center when the planes hit it. And they were from 5 different continents, those 43 members whose lives were lost. And workers all over North America were laid off because travel stopped. So there was great suffering here in this country. But that suffering affected people back home as well. Because when people here are out of work, or God forbid they lose family members, then they can't help the families back home. Am I right? When you lose your job here, you can't help the family back home. And then we had Hurricane Katrina. And again, many of our members were laid off. Many lost their homes. Many still don't have their homes back in Hurricane Katrina. Many of them were native-born Americans, but many came from other countries, including Africa and many other countries. And once again, the tragedy was here, but the tragedy was in those home countries. And so it is with the earthquake. The earthquake happened in Haiti. But the pain and the suffering and the tragedy is in Haiti. Lord knows it's in Haiti, and it's here as well. You cannot break the bond between people's home countries and the country to which people immigrate searching for a better life. So, what can we do as a union? We can, in our own individual ways, try to help and comfort people. But there are two things we can do, and I was so interested in the video. We can continue to fight for immigration reform in this country, and there's going to come a time, either later this year or next year, when I'm going to ask our members, including you, from all over the U.S. to go to Washington, D.C. and stay there until they pass a good immigration law that welcomes people to this country and reunites families. So when it comes time to do that, will you go with me? And the second thing we can do is we can do exactly what workers in the video said and workers have said from here so eloquent before. And thank you so much for your comments. We can fight for better contracts here so that people can live better here and so that people have more money to send back. We need to say to the tourism employers in South Florida, we need to say that if we want to continue to have a flourishing tourism industry, then we have to make hospitality jobs, hotel and food service and gaming jobs, good middle-class jobs. We have to have the kind of a strong community that good middle-class jobs build. There's no reason that the jobs that you all do can't be jobs with good wages that support families and give you more money to send home as well. There's no reason the jobs you do can't have good, affordable health insurance. There's no reason the jobs you do can't have pensions so that you can retire in some dignity and not work until you drop. There's no reason by joining together in Local 355 and throughout this country, there's no reason we can't hopefully persuade, and if not persuade, then force your employers, the companies we work for, mostly global companies now, there's no reason we can't make them provide you with a good standard of living, with more money to send home, not just in crisis times, but at all times. You do the work that makes it possible. You deserve your fair share. And as long as we stand together in this union, as long as we don't fall for divide and conquer, as long as we understand that we're all in this together, we'll either join together and win, or we'll be divided and lose. And I don't hear in this room tonight that you're going to be divided and lose. So let's take the spirit in this room tonight. Let's do everything we can for our Haitian sisters and brothers, but let's join together to make a better life here and a better life in everyone's home country. We can do that. America is the richest country in the world,